Hello folks, and welcome to a Wise Game video. In today's video, we're going to be covering the new implement that they added in 10.2 called Battleground Blitz. Now that Battleground Blitz has actually been in the game now for a good couple of weeks, I have a good insight now of exactly how it works and what's involved. And I want to share that information with you folks today. So if you haven't tried Battleground Blitz yet, but you want to, this video should give you a good idea of what to expect and also what's involved. So with no further ado, let's dive in and give this a look. Battleground Blitz is going to consist of 8 versus 8 players. So it's going to be different than the traditional rated battlegrounds that we're used to, which is 10 versus 10. And back in the day, they even had 15 versus 15. And then something else that's going to be different when it comes to Battleground Blitz is cross-faction. So in regular random battlegrounds, there is no cross-faction. So yes, Alliance and Horde players can be on the same side, fighting for the same cause. A little bit more about all this in just a moment. Now next we're going to touch on how do you actually get involved in these and how the system all works. Now the main purpose for Battleground Blitz is that it gives flexibilities for players, and what I mean by this is you don't have to form a team ahead of time. This is actually meant to queue solo. So like on the same idea when it comes to arenas, they introduce solo shuffle, which again is a way of players that can just queue up solo to do arenas, which is 3s. The battleground maps included for this is going to be Warsong Gulch, Twin Peaks, Temple of Katamagu, Eye of the Storm, Silvershard Mines, and the next one I know I'm going to butcher, Battle for Ganelis, Arathi Basin, and Deep Wind Gorge. Now how you join Battleground Blitz is through the traditional queuing system of the game. So you're going to want to go down to Group Finder, or you could press the I key. Then at the bottom tab, you're going to go to Player versus Player, and it's going to be in the list along with random battlegrounds, epics, so on and so forth. Right down towards the bottom, you're going to see Brawl, Battleground Blitz. So at this moment, Blizzard is treating this as a brawl just to test it out and see how it goes. Then eventually they may add it to the rated section where you find arenas or the actual rated battleground groups. And then you just pick Join Battle. Now the great news is I was wondering what the queue times are going to be like in this, to the point that I even tried it out on the public test realm, but I never got into any groups. Well, I should say that the queues never popped. So I was thinking to myself, either players are not playing this on the PTR, or the queues are going to be extremely long, which is the big downfall when it comes to solo shuffle. Solo shuffle, a DPSer could wait in queues for up to an hour. But the good news is that Battleground Blitz is not long at all. Thank God, and it's very active. Players are loving this. The average queue wait is probably anywhere from 5 to 6 minutes. Now, once you do accept the queue, you are going to be put in a list with other players, and you may see the countdown like they're adding 14 players, 15, so on and so forth. Don't freak out if you see that you're removed from that list. I felt like a player was actually banning me from that list, but it's the system. I guess what they're trying to do is get the perfect balance between both teams. So again, I repeat, the real good news of this is that the queue times are not long at all. Next, let's take a look at itemization, which is known as item scaling for Battleground Blitz. The item level for equipped gear above 312 item level will scale to 472, which is 4 item levels below Dragonflight Season 3 honor gear. Similar to how the scaling currently works for other unranked modes. The scaling is limited to 312 and above to avoid potential issues with overscaling stats on items from previous expansions. Keep in mind, players will also need to be the minimum item level of 330 to queue for this brawl. Next, we're going to take a look at how the conquest works on a daily basis when it comes to queuing up for Battleground Blitz. So for the first win of the day, you're going to get 100 conquest points. And then if you do other Battleground Blitz after that, and those continue to be a win, you're going to get an additional 50 points or 50 conquest points. So again, for the first win, you're going to get 100 conquest points, and then any win after that within that day is going to give you 50 conquest points. Losing by a slim margin can reward you or award you 25 conquest points. And this is in addition to any weeklies for the brawl that you're going to pick up for that week, which we're going to take a look at next. Located in the main capital town for Dragonflight, which is Valdraken, is a PvP room, which is called Gladiator's Refuge. Every Tuesday around 11 o'clock Eastern Time or 8 o'clock Pacific Time, we have what we call Reset, where they're going to replenish all the weeklies for that week. Once you enter the Gladiator's Refuge, to the right, you're going to see this big NPC called Militia, which I call Mal. She's going to have this weekly called Gotta Go Fast, which is going to give you 5 marks of honor, some honor points, I believe it's 250, and also 110 conquest points. And again, this is in addition on top of any other conquest points you make by just winning that brawl. So if you're somebody who likes to do Battleground Blitz, you want to make sure that you pick up this weekly every Tuesday or within that week. Now, in the earlier slide, we've seen that they mentioned 2 of these. I've been just seeing this one. Maybe there is another one in the game and it just slipped my mind at this moment. I feel that World of Warcraft Blizzard has really listened to their player base for Dragonflight. Dragonflight, I think, really introduced a great PvP system that we haven't seen in a very long time. The last time I really enjoyed PvP in the game was back in Warlords of Draenor. My best time being during MOP, which is Mr. Pandaria. Dragonflight has tons to do for PvP. But the game has taken a change. And sometimes I think it's for the better, but sometimes I'm missing something about it though too, and that's the community side of things. It seemed that players didn't really want to work with a structure anymore as far as guild groups go and things along that nature. They don't want to dedicate their time and they don't want to put in for a commitment. So I feel that as the game has progressed, Blizzard has started making the game more soloable. That being Solo Shuffle, and now we have Battleground Blitz, where you don't need a dedicated team each week to actually run Rated Battlegrounds with. Although Rated Battlegrounds, the actual Rated Battlegrounds, does give you a lot more conquest. Cross-faction. Cross-faction is something I'm really not a fan of. I'm going to be truthfully honest with you guys. I've been really involved in World PvP way back in the day when I started in 2006, right up to like, say, Legions. I always believed that Horde and Alliance was separate. Even doing world PvP now and going out there and noticing that I'm actually fighting on the enemy side, an alliance player, still doesn't feel good to me. But hey, if it makes for quicker queue times and we actually get players more involved this way, I'm going to deal with it. Item scaling. Item scaling was something I was never really a big fan of either. I believe a person that puts in more time doing something, just like in real life, should get a bigger reward and an advantage. Now, I'm not somebody who raids anymore, so I don't expect to go into a raid and be as powerful and geared as somebody who does it on a weekly basis. I feel the same when it comes to PvP. The person that puts more time into PvP on a weekly basis should be stronger and have better gear. After all, to me, the gear is the main incentive that makes me want to PvP. And if we're going to be all the same item level, then I feel like that incentive is crushed. But overall, I'm loving the PvP in Dragonflight. And especially now, I love the solo queuing option for RBGs, as we know now as Battleground Blitz. So overall, I think Dragonflight is a big step forward in PvP. But I want to hear what you guys think down in the comment section down below. And also don't forget to sub up and do all those other cool things to help you get notified of each awesome video coming your way. And I hope you found this video helpful, and thanks for watching Wise Gamer. Take care. Bye-bye.